Let's say I have the equation 2x squared minus 3x minus 2 equals 0. And I'm asked to solve this graphically. Okay, so the equation already equals 0, so that first thing's done for me. So now what I want to do is I want to graph it. So if you take out your calculator, and a couple of things before we start. Make sure, number one, if you hit the button that says y equals here, do y'all all know how to graph on the calculator? Do y'all remember that? What? Okay, so yours you should have a graph option from your home screen. I might have to help you individually on yours because it's way different. It's not any harder, it's just way different. All right, so if you hit the button that says y equals, you want to make sure there's nothing in the y equals, there's no equations in there. And you want to make sure that up top, none of these are highlighted in black, okay? And I'll show you what that looks like. If it looks like that, that's bad, all right? You want to go up, click on it, hit enter, and then come back down, okay? All right, so let's put this equation in. 2x squared, 2. This little button beside alpha, that's your x button. So 2x squared minus 3x minus 2. Now, a good starting place when you graph is a standard window. A standard is a 10 by 10 window. It'll take the x from negative 10 to 10 and the y from negative 10 to 10. So if you hit the button that says zoom, and you choose option number 6, notice my nice parabola there because we graphed a quadratic. Y'all all tracking with me? All right, so remember I told you the solutions for this is where it crosses the x-axis, right? So this is the part where you really have to work with your calculator. We're going to calculate the zeros. Do you guys remember doing this in Algebra 2? Some of us yes, some of us no. All right, second, and then the button that says trace. Second, trace. Notice I have a lot of different options there. Value, 0, min, max. I want to choose 0 because 0 is going to be where it crosses the x-axis. So choose option number 2. Now, a couple things you need to notice. Notice my little blinker here. See that? That's where I'm gonna tell it to go. All right, so left and right, that little blinker moves. I call it a spider because it looks like a little spider. And so it's asking me, it said left bound. So here's what you want to do. You want to put your spider as close to where it crosses as you can. It doesn't have to be exact. And then you're going to click left 2 to 3 times. It doesn't really matter how. You just want to make sure you've completely crossed the axis there. So I did 3. And I want to hit enter. Now it says right bound. So you want to go back to where it crosses, and then you want to hit right 3 times. And hit enter again. And then it says, hey, do you want me to guess? Well, I don't want you to guess, I want you to tell me, but yes. So hit enter one more time, and it will give you the coordinates of where it crosses the x-axis. So -1/2. Does that make sense to you? Remember doing that. Okay. Again, on the other side, because there's 2, you see that it's crossing in 2 different places. I want to do the same thing, but do everything again. Second trace, and you try this one. See if you can get that second value. Remember, put the spider on or as close as you can get, and then go left 3 clicks, put it back and go right 3 clicks, and let it guess. See if you can get it. All right, left bound 1, 2, 3, enter, back to the 0, and then 1, 2, 3, right. And yes, I want you to guess. I got 2, 0. Did everybody get 2, 0 for that? So the 2 solutions there are x equals 1/2 and x equals 2. Okay, the key here is the equation has to equal 0 when you put it in. What was your question, Alex? Y'all got it? -1/2 and +2, yeah. Yes or no? Mm-hmm. Everybody okay on that? Now y'all say that. Okay. Let me show you one more with finding the 0. Let's see if you can do it. Let's do, let me pull one from your homework. That's a good thing to do. Here's another example. Let's do 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. Oops, sorry. Sorry. I hear calculator buttons just click, click, clicking. All right, 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. Y'all do a Zoom 6? You can't get this one? Oh. If you don't go all the way left or you don't go all the way right, you're going to get a sign error. You don't have to. It's just it's a good window because it goes from -10 to 10 and -10 to 10. But you don't have to. You can just hit graph and pull it up. All right, second trace. I'm going to do the 0. Remember, put the spider on the point, okay? Because it's asking you left bound. So put the spider on the point and then click left 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Enter. Okay. Then back. All right, back to the 0 and then right 1, 2, 3 clicks and hit enter. And then you have to hit enter again because if you don't hit enter that last time, it's not going to give you the actual point. So -3, 0. How about your second point? Second point. You got to go back in second trace again. You got to do that every single time. So second trace, 0. I'm going to go back as close as you can. It doesn't have to be exact, okay? So now when I do left bound, I'm going to do 3 clicks left. 1, 2, 3. Go back to that 0 and then 1, 2, 3 clicks right. Enter, enter. 1/2 0. Did everybody in here get those 2x values? All right, -3, 1/2. Everybody good? Let's talk about method 2. Method 2 is when my equation does not equal 0 to start with, okay? So maybe it's got stuff on both sides of the equation. So something like, let me find one. Ooh, let's do a hard one. I'm going to put stuff on both sides. Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to graph each side of the equal sign separately, and then we're going to find the intersection of the graphs because the points that they share are our solution points, okay? So we'll graph each side separately, and then we're going to find intersection. For example, let's say that I have, well, let's do an absolute value. Contain your excitement now. Okay. Now, I could move that 7 over, graph it, find where it crosses the x-axis, but just to show you the way this other method works, because sometimes it's easier to graph them separately. If I go back in my y equals, do y'all know where absolute value is? No. Hit the button that says math. Scroll over 1 to number. And that very first option, ABS, means absolute value. Okay, so we're going to do absolute value of, everybody find it? Yeah. Math is under the alpha button. Sorry. Right here under the green alpha button, third one down from the left. You have a newer model than what we have. That's okay. It's just popping. If you push ABS and it just gives you absolute value signs, that's the same thing. That's okay. All right, what were we? 2x what? Plus 5. And what was the other side of the equal sign? 7. Okay, so 2 separate equations here is what we're looking at, all right? Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to hit graph. You can hit Zoom 6 or you can just hit graph. We should still be in the standard window. Now remember, this time, I'm not looking for where it crosses the x-axis. I'm looking for where the 2 meet. There's still 2 solutions though. Do you see that? Yes? No? Maybe so? And I'm only looking for the x part because that's the variable that I'm solving for. So this time, second trace, what option do you think I'm going to choose now? Intersect, because I'm looking at where they cross. So choose option 5. Okay. This one is a little bit easier. So a lot of you say, why are we doing this? What's the point of this? This one's a little bit easier on the solve end of it because you don't have to go left bound, right bound. Okay. It says first curve. In other words, first graph. It's already on one of my graphs, so just hit enter. And then my spider jumps to the other line, right? Mm-hmm. Is that the second graph? Yes. Do you want me to guess? Yes. And I get 1, 7. Remember, I'm just looking for x because I'm solving for x. So x equals 1 is one of the solutions. Now I have 2 solutions. How do I know that I have 2 solutions here? Look at the picture. It's hitting 2 different places, right? So because it's hitting 2 different places, I'm going to have 2 different answers. All right, so the next thing I want to do when we go in again, second trace, intersect again. So you might not know how to get over there because it's still on first curve. But what I want to do is I'm going to take my spider over as close as I can get to the other, because I've already calculated that one on the right. I just want to take it over close to that other one and hit enter. And see how it jumps to the second line close to that point? Hit enter again. And then do you want me to guess? Yes, I want you to guess. So what's the second -6? Yes or no?